Good evening and welcome to the City Council meeting for Monday, June 2nd, 2025. This is Election Day Eve, by the way. Tomorrow is Election Day for local elections. I encourage you to get out and vote for both school board and City Council. We will begin this meeting with a roll call and determination of quorum.
Lehman. Here. Maher. Here. Roberts. Here. Stroman. Here. Pettigrew. Here. Sechrist. Here. Beaverdorf. Here. Ham. Here. Evans. Here. Roseland. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have Pastor Richard Bessinger here? Sir, go on up there. So we're going to have an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're able and willing, would you please rise?
Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come together this evening to serve the people of our city. We pray for this council who will deliberate on matters of importance and pray they seek your wisdom as they make decisions that will affect our community. Guide their hearts and minds to be united in purpose, to work together effectively, and to make decisions that reflect your will and our shared goals. Bless our city, its leaders, and all of its citizens. May peace and prosperity reign within its borders. We ask all of this in your great name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Motion by Lehman, second by Roberts. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is adopted. We have a few special items on the agenda tonight. We first have a presentation from Annie Bachand for Wambli Ska. Hello.
Good evening, everybody. As you can tell, I have come with our team, and I'll try to run through this presentation real quick. We've given you all presentation books that you'll receive later on the council and the mayor. And so Wambli Ska Community Development Corporation. We are a community development organization dedicated to building with our youth, starting with our youth. It's been around for more than 20 years, started by Chris White Eagle's dad, Duran White Eagle. When Duran, about 20 years ago, he saw that the kids in the community were really having a hard time, he wanted to make a difference up at Woyaton. So he brought a drum and dance group together. They learned to sing around the drum. They learned to build regalia, and they brought the community together. They brought hope to that community up in North Rapid. The youth are at our heart. Everything that we do begins with the youth, and we think about our future generations in everything that we do. We meet the urgent needs in our community. We look at what our youth need, we ask them what they need, and we do our best to respond to that. From everything from the Oyate Court, from meals, shelter, laundry, the teen drop-in center, and a holistic wraparound, and we have built a blueprint of what works in self-determination in Indigenous communities. The quiet transformation happens behind the scenes. So many people say, we don't even know who you are. We know very little about what you do. And part of that is because we just keep doing what we're doing out in the community. We're not very good at, say, advertising what it is that we do. This is our advertisement. Sacred Storm Buffalo Processing Plant opened more than a year ago. It was done so through a loan through Indian Fund and allowed us to train more than 50 young men over this last year, processing more than 50,000 pounds of meat that went back into the community as a free food distribution, amongst many other things that took place. They've learned to be apprentices, they've learned to drive big machines, they've fenced our 1,400 acres out at the ranch. We now have 68 buffalo, we have a buffalo calf that was just born, we have lots of horses, and the young men and the young women get to experience this all day long. On June 7th, that's this Saturday, at 1601 Haines, some people refer to it as the old loaf and jug, we will open up our retail store on the north side. We purchased that building, and you'll see all these young people there providing many wonderful things that you have in your box, including our own snack sticks, our pretty pink buffalo soap, and our food truck, our hides, our skulls. This is about healing. This is about culture. This is about making a difference with our youth in the days to come. It's a model for the nation. It's a model for our community. It's a model for our neighborhoods. We encourage you to learn more about what our future vision is, including housing, developing more opportunities for our youth, and continuing to grow together. Our ask, learn more about us. Thank you. Now, Jonathan Oldhorse.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I greet you all with the warmest of handshakes. Thank you for this time to come and share this good woksape that's going on in our community. Wambli Ska has been around a long time, and we've done our best to be good relatives within the community. We've had good engagements over the wintertime, building those relationships, having abilities to have conversations when things get crazy. But the important thing about what we're doing is we're helping build that relationship of that sacred circle. Coming back as community members, the things that we bring, we're bringing livelihood. We're helping rebuild and make fresh North Rapid. We're doing what the ancestors said, which was to put our minds together, and that's all of us, to see what kind of life we can make for our children. Tunkashala tells us, the Holy Grandfather tells us that we're supposed to be peacemakers. That when we come in the virtue of Wola Kota, that we're all the Takoja of the Grandfather. So we come in this good way to let you know that we're all relatives here, that we're doing our best to uplift our community, to uplift Rapid City for all of us. So the people will have life. That's why we do these things. And we just want to share the good medicine that's out there in North Rapid, because that little tree that's budding that fruit, it's expanding out into the further reaches of Pennington County and Rapid City, where we want to share those good medicines with the whole community so that we all can have that good life. Ho, mitakuye, oyas.
Good. My name's Chris White Eagle. I'm the CEO and Executive Director of Wambli Ska and Sacred Storm Buffalo Company. I just wanted to come and introduce myself and introduce the boys behind me. And that's our workforce development right there. I know a lot of them, we catch a lot of stuff from everybody about who we're in company with. Pastor John always talks about all the scriptures and about all the stuff. We're right where we need to be with these boys. They all come from colorful backgrounds. But I just want to say, we run I was just now telling Rod outside about us running a sobriety program. We all attend Sweat Lodge, Wild Variety, and we all attend church every Sunday. So I just wanted to give a little bit of the background about where we all come from and what we're doing. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all for that, for the good work that you're doing. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Counselor Evans would like to say a word.
Yeah, Annie, before you go, I just want to thank you for really a lifetime of great efforts here in Rapid City and all you've done for the community. And if what you guys are doing is a fraction as beautiful as this brochure, I tell you, it's really, really wonderful. I'd also like to take a moment to mention that this is just one of the many great things that's happening culturally to the indigenous people of late. In particular, on Saturday, several of us council people were at the dedication of the Remembering the Children Memorial up there behind West Junior High. And Eric Hikas has designed a beautiful park. Dale Lamfair's sculpture is a gorgeous representation of how we should have been protecting the children. And I just want to congratulate everybody that's involved in all of these things and for making these things happen, because we need to celebrate this culture that surrounds us and really, infiltrates every moment of our lives. We need to cherish it and realize really how special it is. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to continue on with celebrating our youth with the year-end review from the Youth City Council members. So it's a big day. We have some Youth City Council that are outgoing and some that are incoming and some that are staying. So we look forward to hearing what's going on with you all.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, everybody. We are the Rapid City Youth City Council, and this is our 2024-2025 year in review. So, firstly, in June, obviously, we swore in our new members during the City Council meeting, and we elected our executive our executive team.
In July, we were just getting situated, but our first big project was the Popsicle Project during summer nights to spread mental health awareness.
And then in August, our biggest thing was our summer tour, where we focused on team building and touring the community and understanding what they were about, especially with other events like the Radiant Birthday Party and the Star Village Block Party.
For September, our highlights included the Veggie Watercolor activity at the YFS Harvest Festival by the Safety and Sustainability Committee, as well as the Wellness Bingo activity by the Health and Wellness Committee.
October, our main highlight was that we had a fall retreat and had a lot of October, and had a lot of springboard ideas to get our council better.
And then here's some more pictures of October. And then in November, we had our glow walk for some awareness. Our chair was given the opportunity to get to the City Summit experience for the National League of Cities in Tampa, Florida, and we were granted a $1,000 award for the National League of Cities 100-year video.
In December, State House Representative Mike Derby shared about his role in the SD State Legislature and asked for insight from young people on the proposed education voucher bill.
In January, we celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and we also had some swearing in of a couple new members.
In February, we were focused on the President's Day retreat for our cultural learning and future planning for our council. And we were given the opportunity to attend the Day at the Capitol in Pierre to learn more about our local government.
During March, the Youth Philanthropy made decisions on grant applications, and a select few members of our council, 6 in specific, went to the National League of Cities Congressional City Conference in Washington, D.C. This included myself, Cannon Booth, Emerson Buckles, Emma O'Laughlin, Brody Gill, and Shoria Goyle.
To specify the DC conference, the Congressional City Conference, our 3 main takeaways were collaboration, housing issues, and environmental awareness.
One of the deep dive sessions, we were given the opportunity to attend was focused on America's housing inequalities and how we can solve this. And some of the biggest takeaways were with private-public partnerships, as the public has to convince these private businesses to help out, and public schools' cooperation with these businesses to also make a difference on this huge issue.
Shoria and I also had the honor of attending the deep dive session on safe communities. And here, 2 organizations from the government presented. We have SAMHSA, which talked about mental health and substance abuse issues. We talked about opioid overdose and how it's a leading cause of death for those 18 to 34 years old, which obviously increased interest in prevention. And so we saw that there is a need for more resources for rehabilitation, specifically mental health professionals on emergency teams. And right now we noticed that SAMHSA has $8 billion available in grants, $8 billion. And right now there are guides available for treatment and prevention. Right now South Dakota is using 30% less of what other states our size use. Right now we're using around $300,000, while Delaware, which has a similar population, uses $433,000. And I think that if we utilize our SAMHSA grants, we can change that. We also have the DHS Center, another government organization that focuses on targeted violence. And right now that's an increased problem in cities, as there's bomb threats and gun violence threats all over our schools. And right now they have $18 million available in grants for cities regarding issues surrounded targeted violence and terrorism. So prevention, training, bystander social awareness, and threat assessments are all included in those trainings. Right now, South Dakota has never been funded by the DHS TVTP grant program, and I think that this is available for state, local, tribal, and territorial governments as well.
A huge quote that rang through specifically my group at the DC conference was this quote about change that really showed that there are the 4 main reasons that we can affect change in our communities, and that was really inspirational throughout our entire platform of youth engagement here. And one of the main deep dive groups that we went on in the youth conference itself was youth engagement and political involvement, just showing that youth being involved in these political spheres creates a new, fresh point that needs to be heard by adults and leaders, so then youth voice can be integrated into the system. Main ideas that we thought of to get youth more involved was government involvement classes and education in youth, specifically in community events, and local representatives talking to students to get them involved early and often.
The second main thing that the Youth National League of Cities Conference wanted to discuss was increasing diversity in youth spaces and leadership. The voices of our youth in the community need to be diversified to hear from every single different place in the community, not just from the one that takes the most representation. So we need to adapt to modern methods to account for this. And some of the presented ideas was to expand social media outreach, as social media has become one of the primary ways of communication and representation. And creation of more youth-led spaces would also help to promote diversity in these areas. Encouraging youth to speak up and take a stand about the problems they face in the community would also help significantly in making sure that the youth are heard and diverse in these spaces.
Our third topic was housing crisis, accessibility, and homelessness. And our biggest takeaway here is that the housing crisis in America is a challenge to be overcome, and increasing accessibility and reducing homelessness is an integral issue that needs to be solved. The youth presented ideas such as creating new housing and fixing old housing, encouraging development of more accessible facilities, and providing more support for the homeless community, as well as centering Rapid City on a foundation of public and private partnerships.
So some action items that we took away from our youth-led groups was meeting with teachers and community representatives to really get the youth involved, expanding the use of youth liaison positions in representation with youth city council and city council meetings in general, as well as housing development and homelessness assistance specified with youth.
And of course, we were given the amazing opportunity to tour Washington, D.C. alongside these. This allowed us to really take in and appreciate our past leaders and our fallen veterans of the United States and take a second to really appreciate what mattered to us. And so we were given the opportunity to visit the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, the Washington Memorial, the Korean War Veterans Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, and many others, as you can see listed there.
All right, moving on to what we did in April. Some of the highlights included the Level Up conference, where we were able to meet with Congressman Dusty Johnson. We also had 2 YCC members recognized during the Spirit of Volunteerism Award with the Helpline Center, and we had our annual art auction, second annual art auction for the community.
In May, we had the selection of our new 2025 to 2026 members announced, which are all here today, as well as a orientation and social for everyone to get to know each other.
And then for our summer planning, we plan to swear in our new members at this meeting. And our first meeting will be in around a week, where we will hopefully plan our summer retreat, where we hope to learn more about the community again, as we did in our past one, and look forward to team building with each other and preparing for a new wonderful year at the Youth City Council.
Of course, we couldn't have done it without all you guys' support. Thank you for everyone up in the dais right now, especially our city council members, our city council liaison, Lindsay Sechrist, who has helped us a lot, any school board members that helped us through, as well as any RCAS employees that also supported us, and especially our mentors, Kristen Kiner and Sean Binder, who have led us through all our planning and activities. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for that wonderful presentation. I don't think they did much. I don't know. Councilor Sechrist, who's the liaison to this great committee, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ioana, Emma, and Shoria, for your presentation. That was wonderful. I just wanted to say a couple of words as the liaison to our Youth City Council, and just say how proud I am to support this group of young leaders, and their hard work and dedication is really something to be admired. This past year, I think just what they've shown us has been inspiring, from the various projects to the volunteering, to simply showing up. This group of students are modeling, these young people are modeling what it means to be engaged citizens and good neighbors. And this collaboration is critical to addressing broader community safety, and just the collaboration, the partnership with the schools. I believe that we're building our next bench of local leaders, and I think that I'd like to thank the mayor and the rest of our council up here for their support of, and their continued support of our Youth City Council. So they're doing great things. And I think we can just take a look at our youth to see what our next generation will be. And thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Those are very nice words. The future looks bright. The outgoing Youth City Council members that are here, would you raise your hand or stand so we can see you? Ioana. Well, she's a rock star. Very impressed with you, young lady. Thank you for everything that you have done. We're very grateful for you. Well done. So we actually have the opportunity to swear in this next crop of Youth City Council members. And so if you want to join me up here in the bullpen, that would be great. How exciting is this? This is a pretty cool opportunity for you to really take upon a new chapter. Some of you are continuing, but some of you are brand new. Welcome to the Youth City Council. Congratulations for being selected. We're awfully proud of you. Tonight, you are going to swear an oath. There are very few things in life we swear oaths to. We swear oaths, of course, when we get married, when we go to court, when we take office. If any of you serve in the military, you will swear an oath there. So today, I encourage you, anytime you take an oath, that you take it seriously. You think about what you're saying, that if something you can't agree with, don't do it. But if it is, go all in. Okay, it's an all in or nothing scenario. And so it is my honor tonight to provide the oath to you. So, because there's so many of you, I'm going to back up here so we can see because the parents are like, don't block my kids. Solomon, get out of the way. I understand. So if you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me, I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or for the purpose of evasion, that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the office as a member of the Youth City Council, Rapid City, South Dakota, to the best of my ability. So help me God. All right, congratulations. All right, everyone. Now we will move on to general public comment, a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. I do have a couple of speaker request forms. For this item, I have other items for an actual agenda item later on in the meeting. First up, Adrian Epp.
It's been a while, but it's good to be back. I'm sure some of you thought I was done. A few of you might have hoped that I would be, but I'm back. Since it's been a while, I'll just go back to car dependency does not do us any favors. It may seem that since that's the way it is now, that's just the way it should be. Everybody drives and that's okay. But it's not really. We sacrifice so much space to cars. They're the most space inefficient way to get around the city. They take up a lot of storage space, both ends of their destinations. At home, you have to have a massive garage, or you have to find parking on the street. At your destination, you park in a giant, ugly parking lot. Car dependency costs us a lot of money, too. We have to end up building much larger roads, wider roads. I think the Sheridan Lake Road reconstruction project is at $15 million, which is just insane. You get more out of your money when you spend on things like bicycle lanes, public transportation, even just sidewalks. And that means you also have to stop granting the variances. But people shouldn't have just one option to get around. And for most of us, that is what we have. And when you get in a wreck, like my wife and I did 4 months ago, you're left with no options. Car is the only way to get around, and so you must buy one. You may look at the cost of things like an electric bicycle and think that that's too much money, but if you can replace your car with that, that is a lot less. You end up spending a lot of money on cars personally throughout every year, year after year. And it's not just what you put into your tank. It's not just the oil changes, the maintenance. It's also the taxes that you pay. Car dependency costs taxpayers huge amounts of money, and you can't even keep up with your maintenance. I think Seacrest has mentioned several times that her area has had almost no maintenance for 30 years or more, and that's the cost of car dependency. We have crumbling infrastructure that we can't replace because it's too expensive. Thank you.
Next up, James Bialotta.
Thank you, City Council. You might have not recognized me. Usually I walk with a cane due to my disability. But your officers put me in a damn wheelchair. I warned you of the police corruption you had when I reported officers tampering with evidence, that I had body cam of officers tampering with evidence that said it was so people wouldn't run against you in public office. How dare you? That your police, after I came forward to this council when I was attacked on my own property without a warrant, without a crime, without a charge, then try to frame me to the Pennington County Sheriff's Department, who, thank God, saw the error of their corruption and refused to prosecute. Your city attorneys then said, we did an internal investigation and found ourselves innocent. You've got to be kidding me. You already attacked me once on my own property. I warned you of your out-of-control police. I asked the citizens to look at me on camera. I have no use of my hands. I'm in a wheelchair I can't even push or move on my own. And you think this is your version of the honest truth and your published openness? Pat You're running for re-election and say you're open, and you refuse to turn over the police body cams. How dare you, sir? How dare you? This should be on the agenda now. Your cops, and this is how I can tell you, they knew they did wrong. An officer approached me and immediately took the cuffs off. How bad must you be injured when police take the cuffs off you? Because my wrists were purple. That after I told police that I was disabled and was willing to comply, they shouted, "We don't believe you." Look up indifference to injury. You're all in deep trouble. May God have mercy on your souls, because the DOJ won't. I ask you to self-report now. This is ridiculous. No one should stand for it. Post 22's in the back. Did you explain to them you sent cops to a disabled vet's house and beat him up on his own front yard in front of his wife and kids with no crime because I reported their corruption? This is ridiculous. Make a stand.
Sir, your time's up. And that will conclude general public comment, and we will move on to non-public hearing items 4 through 36 and open public comment for items 4 through 29. I do not have any speaker request forms for those items, so we will close the public comment and move on to consent items 4 through 29. Would the council like to remove any items for separate consideration or vote on the remaining items? Councilor Stroman.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 8 and number 9.
Okay. Any other items, council? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve items 4 through 29 with the exception of 8 and 9. Got a motion by Maher, second by Roberts. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, authorize staff to advertise bids for Mall Drive and Haynes Avenue traffic signal upgrade, project number 2809 and CIP number 51047.25, estimated cost of $350,000. Councilor Stroman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to direct a question to whoever's handling this for, is it Public Works? Would it be Daniel or Vic? Roger?
We have the city engineer in the audience.
Better yet.
Go directly to the source. Roger Hall, our city engineer, he will take the podium.
Can you just kind of give us a rundown of what this is about, Roger?
Sure. Okay, I'm live. Well, thank you for the question. Appreciate you guys asking about this signal. A few years ago, when they were building the diverging diamond interchange up at La Crosse Street, this was a temporary signal installed by the DOT. We quickly realized, due to the amount of traffic and the pedestrians and everything else using this signal, the signal was warranted. We in turn purchased the heads and all that with the signal. What we're doing with this project is installing new signals and putting in ADA ramps and some sidewalk extensions in that area. So it's been well received by the public out there. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. I hope that answers your question. If you have anything else, thank you.
It does answer my question. Thank you. It sounds like a good project. I yield.
Good clarification. All right, do we have a motion? Motion by Sechrist, second by Roberts to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, a request from Olaf Anderson on behalf of Butler Machinery for variance to waive the requirement to install sidewalk as part of the requirements for building permit at 3555 Deadwood Avenue North per City Ordinance 12.08.060. Councilor Stroman, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Would it be Mr. Hall again that I direct my question to?
I believe so.
Or Vicky?
All right.
Okay, we'll go to,
All right.
ask a question of Director Fisher.
Yes, we'll go to Community Development Director Vicky Fisher.
Ma'am, could you kind of give us a little quick overview of what this item is about?
So a building permit came in along North Plaza Drive, and as a part of that building permit, it triggered the requirement for this property owner to install sidewalk as it abuts the property. And looking at it and the rural road section that's in place, it didn't make sense at this time to construct the sidewalk until such time as we do have the necessary curb and gutter, and then the boulevard, and then the sidewalk. So if in the future we should get to the point where we need sidewalks, we would do an assessment, or we could do an assessment, and then the property owner would pay their fair share at that time.
Thank you. That's my only questions.
Okay.
I yield.
With that, we'll entertain a motion. Motion by Roberts, second by Lehman to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. That will take us to the end of consent items. We will move on to non-consent items 30 through 36 and open public comment. For items 30 through 36, I do not have any speaker request forms. For items 30 through 36, we will close public comment and move on to item 30, first reading of ordinance number 6670, an ordinance to identify the executive cabinet and acknowledge the mayor's ability to administratively determine the supervision and reporting structure of the city's department and divisions by adding section 2.12.080 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. Councilor Stroman, were you in the queue, or did we just forget to pop you out? All right.
Nope, no, sir.
Councilor Pettigrew.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move this item to the August 4th or 18th meeting. I think the council's got a lot of questions, and I think it's taken us 6 months to get this far, so I don't think there's any harm in moving a couple months. And we're going to have a new council seated in July. We have the budget we're working on, so I would just like to slow this process down and move it to those dates. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion by Pettigrew and a second by Sechrist to continue to the August 4th, 2025. All right. Councilor Maher, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, we've been discussing this for months, and it's time to take action. So I'd make a substitute motion that we vote on it tonight. Thank you.
Second. Is that a motion to approve tonight as a substitute
Approve
motion?
tonight, yes.
And a second by Roseland? All right. So we have a substitute motion on the floor to approve. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and go to a roll call vote.
Lehman? No. Maher?
Yes.
Roberts?
No.
Stroman?
No.
Pettigrew?
No.
Sechrist? No. Beaverdorf?
Yes.
Ham? No. Evans?
No.
Roseland?
Yes.
Motion fails 7-3.
All right. Now next to item 31, first reading of ordinance number 6671, an ordinance amending chapter 2.40 of the Rapid City Municipal Code excuse me, I'm sorry. We'll go back to the original motion on the floor to continue to the August 4, 2025 City Council meeting. Thank you for that reminder. We'll go ahead and we'll take a voice vote on this. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 31, first reading of ordinance number 6671, an ordinance amending chapter 2.40 of the Rapid City Municipal Code to rename the finance officer to chief financial officer and modify the job duties of the position. Councilor Pettigrew.
Thank you. I'd like to make the same motion to move this to the August 4th council meeting. Thank you.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor to move to the August 4th, 2025 City Council meeting. Councilor, with a second by Sechrist. Councilor Maher.
Again, I don't see why we're delaying this for 2 months. 2 months. For what reason? So anyway, I will be voting not to delay it further.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to a roll call vote.
Roseland?
Aye.
Evans?
Evans?
Yep. Ham?
The motion on the floor is to continue to the August 4th, 2025 meeting. I think you thought maybe Maher made a substitute motion, but he did not.
Can I take that back also?
Okay.
All right, we're voting to continue this item to the August 4th, 2025 City Council meeting.
Roseland.
No.
Evans. Ham. Sorry. What did he say? I'm sorry. Yes. Beaverdorf.
No.
Seacrest. Yes. Pettigrew. Yes. Stroman.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Maher.
No.
Lehman. Motion passes 7-3.
All right. Item 32, first reading of ordinance number 6672, an ordinance amending Chapter 2.44 of the Rapid City Municipal Code to rename the Department of Public Works to the Department of Public Operations. Councilor Pettigrew.
I'd like to make the same motion to move this item to the August 4th meeting. If I could have a second, please.
Second.
Got a motion by Pettigrew, second by Evans, to continue to the August 4th, 2025 council meeting. Hopefully that's clear. All right. All in favor? Any opposed? No. All right. Motion passes with 3 noes from Maher, Roseland, and Bieberdorf. Item 33, first reading of ordinance number 6666, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by Bice Young and Associates LLC for Balmeal Incorporated for a rezoning request from General Commercial District to Light Industrial District for property generally described as being located at 2512 Marlin Drive. Motion by Ham, second by Lehman. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 34, approve resolution number 2025-064, a resolution authorizing salary adjustments for non-union benefited employees in 2025. Councilor Pettigrew.
Thank you. I'd like to, I guess, move this to the August 4th meeting. There's a lot of questions on this, and today, talking to several council people, we all think there's some things that we should look at, improve upon in the benefits and the salary adjustments. So again, I think I'm comfortable with just giving us more time so we can all come back and have a unified position on this. Thank you.
All right. So is that a motion? We got to get to the motion and make our comments next time, but I get it. Councilor Pettigrew is motion, second by Stroman. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. All right, let's take a roll call vote, please.
Lehman. Aye. Maher.
No.
Roberts. Aye. Stroman.
Aye.
Pettigrew.
Aye.
Seacrest. Bieberdorf.
No.
Ham. Evans.
Aye.
Roseland.
No.
Motion passes 7-3.
All right. Item 35, a request by DC Scott Company Land Surveyors, Inc. for Barbara Nordstrom for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lots 6A and lot 6B of Block 1 of Eastern Acres subdivision, generally described as being located at 5815 Legacy Lane. The recommendations to approve with stipulations. Motion by Lehman, second by Roberts to approve with stipulations. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. 36. A request by FMG Engineering for the Cronky Group for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lots 11, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 of Block 2 of Black Hills Center, generally described as being located south of Stumer Road between Black Hills Boulevard and 5th Street. The recommendations to approve with stipulations. A motion by Roberts, second by Ham to approve with stipulations. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to the public hearing items 37 through 40, and we will open the public hearing for items 37 through 40. I do have several speaker request forms for item 37. So first up, we will hear from Bill Merchant. As a reminder, you have 3 minutes, and you'll have a countdown timer right above us here.
Okay. Council, Mayor, thank you. Appreciate the time. What my understanding of this process is to allow the sale of beer at post-22 baseball games in the parking lot. I like a beer as much as the next guy, we're telling our youth that are playing this terrific game, no drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco. And if we sanction a beer tent in the parking lot, what are we actually telling them? The state American Legion baseball rules spell out that sale of alcohol in Legion baseball is prohibited. I understand this is in the parking lot, but I also understand there's a difference between the spirit of the law or the rule and the letter of the law. I would recommend that you guys disapprove this particular petition. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Cody Champion.
All right, thank you. I've been a resident of Rapid City for 43 years and in the Hills area a whole lot longer. And I have also been volunteering since I was 15 with a small town volunteer fire department. And then Little League, Boy Scouts, Pony League, you name it. So I'm well aware of the difficulties in raising funds for volunteer organizations. But you know, as responsible adults, it's our job to take care of the sick, the infirm, the aged, and to mentor, educate, and try to instill into our youth the proper responsibilities in growing up to be a good citizen. I do not believe that it is necessary to sell alcohol at any organized youth event, period, whether it be baseball, soccer, anything. It doesn't set a good example for kids that are highly impressionable. And frankly, if you can't sit through a 2 or 3 hour baseball game watching your son or your daughter or whoever, you probably got a problem. If you can't sit there long enough to do that without having a beer. But the big thing is we're setting the wrong example for these kids because they're going to look at it and now, okay, we do it here. Do it for this game. This is granted, this is just for the firecracker. It's not for anything else. But there's usually games going on at McKee and at Fitzgerald or at Pete Lean. So you got a lot of kids there. And I just believe it's the wrong way to go as responsible adults. I know it's hard to raise money, but come on, there's better ways to do it. And I would kindly urge you guys to reject this and any future applications to sell alcoholic beverages at organized youth events. Thank you.
Next up, Lyle Tolsma. Lyle, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did.
All right.
Thank you. I'm going to divert to Ryan Schodel first, and then I will follow him if that's okay with you all.
All right, I have him on the speaker request as well, so.
Yes.
All right, Ryan.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, aldermen, members of the city council. My name is Ryan. I am the proud commander of American Legion Post 22. And I'm here to speak in favor of the application for the special event malt beverage license for the Firecracker Tournament. With this, I want to first and foremost address any perception that this application is merely a money grab. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Post 22 is a nonprofit organization that is driven by a deep commitment to our community and our nation's youth. Proudly, we invest $2,500 back to our baseball every year. In 2024, we contributed $4,000 back to the senior boys for scholarships, and $5,000 this year to school lunch programs, ensuring that no child has no food and goes hungry. In total last year, Post 22 gave over $480,000 back to our community. This is through many different programs, too many to list. Mommy's Closet, diaper drives, list goes on and on. We are the American Legion, and as some of these people have already said, we are built on core values. These are justice, freedom, democracy, and loyalty. These aren't just words. They're principles that we lived by in uniform and continue to do so as veterans. As Legionnaires, we are men and women who have served or continue to serve in our selfless dedication to our country. We did not just hang up the uniform and forget about these commitments. Instead, we have transitioned that into dedication into our communities and into our fellow veterans and the youth of America. We understand and share your concerns raised by this regarding alcohol sales where youth participate. Let me be absolutely clear. Post 22 has a stringent drug and alcohol policy for all participants, strictly prohibiting the use of alcohol, tobacco, and illegal substance inside of the baseball field. This is highly enforced, and it will not continue to happen in the field. We will limit this into our strict areas that we have designated already and ensure and try to keep a family-oriented atmosphere for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Lyle, you can use your 3 minutes since Ryan took his 3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm a past commander of American Legion Post 22 for 4 years. We have run this tent out there for 7 years prior to this. I'm the only one that's run that tent. We have never had a problem. It's not inside the park where the youth are. American Legion from the state of South Dakota only has a resolution that alcohol is not to be served inside of any stadium where American Legion baseball is being played. The place where we set this up was between McKeague Field and Post 22, not in the parking lot, off the parking lot on city property. We went through the proper channels of getting the alcohol permit, the Parks and Rec permit. We went through planning and zoning to get all those permits, and it was always approved. We have never had a problem. We have never had anybody go in to the field after consuming alcohol and raising heck with the umpires or anything like that. To this day, no problems ever. We raised that money to provide to our youth. Currently right now, there is Boys State going on in Aberdeen, South Dakota. We know who our opponents are, and we want to extend that olive branch to all of them. Therefore, there was a young youth who wanted to go to Boys State from our opponents, and they didn't have the money. We extended that olive branch to send that young man to to Aberdeen to participate in Boys State, which is happening right now. That's what we do. We put all this back into our youth, our veterans, and we're not here to make it any worse for anybody else. As veterans, we have fought for everybody to have the right to have a freedom of speech, and we still believe in that. As our opponents want, we welcome them to have their freedom of speech. We just ask that you make that decision, and we will respect your decision on what's made. Thank you.
Okay, that will conclude the public hearing, and we will move on to the consent public hearing items 37 through 40. Would the council like to remove any items for separate consideration? Councilor Ham? No, okay. Councilor Evans?
I'd like both 37, please.
Okay, item 37 is pulled. Any other items? Pat Roseland?
I'd like to abstain from 37 since I'm a member of the Post 22 American Legion.
All right, duly noted. All right, So I will entertain a motion to approve items 38 through 40 and withhold 37. Motion by Ham, second by Stroman. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 37, alcohol license for American Legion Post 22 for a special event on-sale malt beverage license for an event scheduled for July 2nd through the 6th, 2025 at Post 22 Baseball Field Parking Lot, 2721 Canyon Lake Drive. Councilor Evans, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I just want to comment that this has been going on for several years. They have this idea to raise a few dollars that, to my knowledge, has never caused an issue. And in the 6 years I've been on the council, I've never received one complaint about this. So I don't understand where all of this objection is coming from all of a sudden when there's no history of a problem, at least none that I'm aware of. Now, I ran an event for the schools for 40 years, the All-City String Festival, which, the last few years had over 900 kids involved. And we were at the Civic Center all of those years. And several years ago, they decided to start putting these gigantic plastic advertisements above the doors to the concert hall. And the biggest one was Bud Light. And we had to have those 900 kids standing under that Bud Light poster. And despite our objections, that thing never went down, and nobody seemed to think that was of any concern whatsoever. Let me tell you, the parents did. So I think this is kind of a double standard to even be considering it now when we do that to the kids down at the Civic Center every single time they walk to an event down there. So I'm going to say I'm not going to support this because I think it's kind of silly. Thank you.
Councilor Sechrist.
Thank you, Mayor. I thought I'd chime in. I spoke to this item at the last meeting. I had met with a group of residents that had brought forward some concerns with President Maher earlier this year or later last year. And they had brought the same concerns that some of our guests tonight had spoke to, with concern for just the wrong impression that we're setting for our youth, that there are a lot of opportunities to fundraise and to seek support for your organization, that setting up a beer tent in this location between the fields that's all centrally located where so many of our youth are passing through. I'm going to support the denial of this permit. I do think that it's important for us as adults to leave a good impression on our youth, and this might be very small and it seems minuscule, and maybe we've done this in the past, but stating that no concerns have been brought forward just isn't true, because we have had concerns brought forward in the conduct and the behavior of the parents after they've drunk whatever they're drinking in the parking lot and then come into the field. It's not necessarily beer in the field. We know alcohol is restricted in the actual fields. What's happening out in the parking lot or in between the fields, and then parents coming back in, and behavior is much different from what's been explained to me. So anyhow, that's where I'm at with this, and thank you.
Okay. Councilor Pettigrew.
Thank you. I'm going to support the denial. I think it's a two-edged sword when they say they have a no alcohol, no drug policy, and yet they're serving alcohol in the parking lot. I don't get that. And, you know, we don't have alcohol at football games, high school football games. We don't have alcohol at L&I tournament. When there's basketball games down at the Civic Center, I go to some of those. There's no alcohol, and it's not a big deal. So I think by allowing this, we're almost setting a precedent what event next will want to serve alcohol at their event. So I am going to support denying this. Thank you.
Okay, I have nobody else in the queue. So with Councilor Sechrist.
Chime in. I will move to deny, and if I could have just a second to retain the floor.
All right, we got a motion by Sechrist with a second by Maher to deny. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Commander, with the Post 22, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming. We appreciate all you do. Post 22 does a considerable amount for our community, and this is in no way trying put you down or your organization down. So know that we stand behind you. And so that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to go to a roll call vote, please. Heidi? The motion on the floor, for clarification, is to deny the license.
Seacrest. Bieberdorf. Ham. Evans. Roseland.
He abstains.
Okay, sorry. Lehman. Maher.
Aye.
Roberts. Stroman.
Aye.
Pettigrew. Motion passes 6-3.
Okay, so that means that the license has been denied. Okay. That takes us to the end of consent public hearing calendar. We will move on to the non-consent public hearing item 41, and that is the second reading of ordinance number 6662, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by Advanced Design Engineering and Surveying, Inc. for Black Hills Industrial Center, LLC, for a rezoning request from no use district to heavy industrial district for property generally described as being located north of Lamb Road, east of Highway 79, and west of Old Folsom Road. I heard Roberts, and who else? And Lehman. Okay. In unison. So we got a motion by Roberts, second by Lehman to approve. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And with that, we'll go to the bill list, and Finance Director Daniel Ainsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The bills for tonight total $14,662,890.45.
Motion by Ham, second by Roseland to approve. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Lehman, second by Stroma to adjourn. All in favor? Any opposed? This meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everyone.